Welcome back everybody to Rantpocalypse Talks HBO's Westworld. I'm Justin, and for this video I'm going to switch things up just a little bit. I apologize, but you're just going to get one static image throughout the entirety of me talking because I don't have time to go back and edit images and videos and GIFs or GIFs, however the hell you pronounce them. I just wanted to record my thoughts on this whole William is the Man in Black or is Logan the Man in Black, because I just previously put out a video questioning whether or not William is indeed the Man in Black and whether or not it could be Logan. And the whole purpose of that video was to just give some evidence on why we should question whether or not the Man in Black is indeed William. That's what I believe. I do believe that the Man in Black is William and that William is the Man in Black. And I guess I didn't articulate myself well enough at the beginning of that video that I was just wanting to point out the other side of the coin on whether or not Logan could be the Man in Black. As I point out in that video, there are a lot of similarities between Logan and the Man in Black, but there's also a lot of similarities between the Man in Black and William, which is of course what the writers, the showrunners, the directors of HBO's Westworld want to do. This is why the show is so good, is because they make you think. You sit there for hours, days, weeks afterwards contemplating what you just saw in an episode. Maybe you're a super genius and it comes to you easy, but for me, I like to think deep and hard about each and every episode after I watch it. I believe I've watched each episode about 4 to 5 times after it airs on Sunday night, because it's so damn good. I love the show so much. I love talking about it. That's why I do these videos. So I hope you enjoy them. That being said, I wanted to break down some new evidence that points to the fact that William is the Man in Black. A lot of this evidence came up after episode 8 of Trace Decay. You can go back and look at the evidence from my previous video, The Man in Black Confirmed. But the main points of that video were the knife that the Man in Black uses and William uses, as well as the shirt that they wear. Now, obviously, I know that that's a little bit of weak evidence, but I thought that those were two strong points on why these two characters could be the same person. But I honestly think the strongest evidence came after we watched Trace Decay. We see the Man in Black, whenever he meets the character Angela again, him and Teddy are riding along and they encounter a woman. And whenever the Man in Black sees this woman, he says, "It's you. I thought they'd retired you." I guess Ford never likes to waste a pretty face. This is also the host that William meets when he first enters into the park, and Logan, as far as we know, never meets Angela. So this alone does not confirm that William is the Man in Black, but it definitely confirms that they're at least in 2 separate time frames, with Angela being in both of those time frames. I find it very convenient that the show would do this if they were not foreshadowing that William is going to be the Man in Black. Another thing we see after watching Trace Decay is that the Man in Black sees the human side of Maeve. This is something that William is experiencing presently with his storyline with Dolores, where he believes that she feels love towards him, that she is a real person, that she is a human being. He doesn't look at her as a host. And this is what the Man in Black sees in Maeve. He thought that she was alive. This was the most alive he'd ever seen any human being, let alone a host. So when you compare and contrast what's going on with William as his storyline unfolds with Dolores, it's very interesting to see the Man in Black give these details of himself after he encountered Maeve. This is basically what sets the Man in Black on his path of unlocking the host consciousness. I don't know how it happens, I don't know what goes down, but I believe that William is truly in love with Dolores. And I think the incident causes her to lose her sentient side of herself that we're seeing presently with the Dolores and William storyline, where she's becoming more aware of her surroundings. I feel like the incident is going to cause her to lose this. And I believe that's what William is going to want to reclaim for Dolores, and that is why he's on this 30-year mission of coming back to the park and wanting to unlock Dolores' consciousness to get her back to where she was whenever they were on the mission to get to the center of the maze. Don't know how it's going to happen, but I do believe that it's going to involve something with Dolores losing this ability that she's gaining whenever we see her with William. I believe I talked about it a little bit in my Man in Black Confirmed video, where I was alluding to the fact that the Man in Black is William, but his behavior, William's behavior that is, has changed so drastically over the past few episodes. When we first initially see William's introduction to the park, He's very kind. He even goes so far as to try and pick a host up that had fallen in the middle of the street in Sweetwater. Everybody else was just letting this poor host just kind of flounder on the ground, but William goes to help this host out. There's been many instances of William showing a kinder side to the hosts, but it's changed a little bit over the past few episodes. Whenever they were running away from the Confederados and the Ghost Nation came in, he definitely reveled in all the death and all the carnage. He actually smiled during this scene whenever he left Logan behind, and he kind of had a smile on his face then, and he says to Dolores, "You can't understand how long I've wanted to do that." His emotions and feelings towards the hosts have definitely changed over the past few episodes. In episode 8, we see this illustrated in the callous way he wanted the boy to die that Dolores was wanting to help. It was one of the Confederado kids that was when Dolores was near a little stream, a river, and she's trying to get this kid water, but William just says, nope, don't give him any water, let him die. And we really don't know if William killed the kid whenever Dolores went to go get the water, because the kid seemed to be fine. Yes, he was looking a little bit bad, but we thought that maybe he could survive. And then by the time Dolores got back, he had died. So who knows? Maybe in that moment when Dolores was having those visions, maybe William somehow killed this kid. I don't know, but he definitely was not very nice towards this kid, which is a drastic turn from the way that he was treating the hosts previously in the beginning of season 1. I think the most damning piece of evidence that the Man in Black is indeed William is whenever the Man in Black gives his backstory. Now, the one crucial piece is I don't recall that he said he was married to Juliet, and we know that William tells Dolores that his wife-to-be, that her name is Juliet, and I don't recall the Man in Black saying this name. He does say that he had a wife, that they've been married for 30 years, that their marriage had kind of been really crappy. They never were truly happy, but he did have a beautiful daughter, that he was a god in the real world, that he was a titan of industry. Now, a lot of people point to that being Logan, because Logan is the one with all the money, and William is just this low, middling, mid-level manager within the company. But I also think that something happens, Logan gets killed, and William eventually would take over the company, take Logan's spot, because he's then married to Juliet, who is Logan's sister. So William would then in turn kind of take over the company. Now, the Man in Black reveals that his wife basically committed suicide about a year ago, that she just couldn't take it anymore, that the Man in Black was sort of living a double life, that he wasn't completely there in their relationship. And I think the main reason why this is that the Man in Black was always in love with Dolores. Now, something happened, like I said, the incident occurred, and Dolores no longer felt those same feelings for William, so he kind of felt cast aside, and he decided, well, if I can't have this, I guess I have to go back, and I have to marry Juliet, and I have to try and go on in life. But I think that's ultimately why she committed suicide, because she knew that she was not truly loved by the Man in Black, and she just didn't want to live that lie anymore, so she took her own life. Another thing that happened whenever the Man in Black was telling his backstory is that he tells Teddy that Westworld reveals your true self. And this is almost verbatim the same thing that William said to Dolores in episode 7. He said the park doesn't pander to your baser instincts. It doesn't cater to your lowest self. It reveals your deepest self. So both of these two characters have the same philosophy now on the park. William may not have had that same philosophy when he came into the park, but as he went along in the episodes that we've seen, he's kind of changed his philosophy on how he sees the world of Westworld into something that more aligns with the way that the Man in Black sees the world of Westworld. When I did the video talking about Logan being the Man in Black, and I said that these two characters both compare Westworld to being a game and playing a game, there was one thing that the Man in Black, he tells to Teddy. He says, you're here to be the loser. The house always wins. The game is rigged. With that line right there, you would say that these two characters, the Man in Black and Logan, more closely resemble each other than what we've seen of William thus far. But a part of me thinks that this was the Man in Black saying these things to himself, that the game was rigged all along, and that's why he lost Dolores. We know that Logan seems to be bitter about real life, and he likes being in the park because he can be free, he has no rules, and that's very similar to how the Man in Black goes about his time in the world of Westworld. But I think what could have happened is that William, once the incident occurs, once he leaves the park, once he marries Juliet, and he comes back to the park, he's basically basing his personality on Logan's. Logan's no longer with us. I think that he does die in the incident if you go along with the William is the Man in Black theory, which I prescribe to. So I feel like he takes on Logan's personality type in order to feel more superior to everybody else, because we know that Logan definitely has an inflated sense of ego about himself. And he takes on more of Logan's personality because Logan isn't the type to fall in love. He's not that type of individual that gets all lovey-dovey. So I think with William taking on more of this personality that Logan has, he can feel less emotion and not have to worry about losing somebody anymore. These are some of the reasons why I do believe William will be the Man in Black. I think that this will be revealed in episode 9 or 10. Honestly think it'll probably be in episode 10, that will be some kind of huge cliffhanger ending at the very end of the episode. And I hope that it's true. I think it's very interesting to have William turn into the Man in Black rather than Logan being the Man in Black. I feel like that's kind of too easy, that their personalities too closely align. So again, I do these videos for discussions. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. My whole purpose on creating this YouTube channel is to start discussions amongst fans of the TV shows that I like, but I wanted something that is mine, something that I create, something where I can lend my thoughts and my voice to the discussion in the form of YouTube videos. So I want to know your thoughts. Do you guys ultimately think that William will be the Man in Black? Or do you look at the video that I made that Logan is the Man in Black and think, oh, maybe everybody's wrong. Maybe William is not indeed the Man in Black. I want to know your thoughts. My definitive answer is William is the Man in Black, just to put that out there. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to unsubscribe because of other videos, feel free to do so. But I still hope you have a fantastic day even if you did unsubscribe. Now I'm going to go watch Westworld and enjoy my mind being blown just a little bit more. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye-bye. Good day, everybody. Bye-bye.